A charming place, neat atmosphere, and it belongs to everyone who needs to rest, who needs to run someplace with a view. Guess it's something new. I'm ready to move on like the moon.
Are you planning a few-day trip, looking for an interesting destination for a weekend? Or you are just arranging a route of an attractive one-day outing? Ancient monuments of engineering, religious monuments, castle and palaces, beautiful nature, places created for active entertainment and leisure, and also characteristic and unique regular events. With these, Euroregion Silesia invites and tempts you to come.
Someplace with a view. Guess it's something new. I'm ready to move on like the moon moves on.
With the area of about 3,000 square kilometers and almost 800,000 inhabitants in 76 communes, Euroregion Silesia has a lot to offer. We will take you for the trip to our most interesting, oldest, most beautiful, greatest top attractions of this part of Silesia and Moravia. Ready? Let's begin our journey. Try an armor, meet a prince and feel the taste of victory. This way tourists are welcome to the Racibórz Castle, one of the most valuable medieval monuments in this part of Poland. This is the only preserved 13th century seat of Silesian rulers, and the Gothic chapel called Silesian Saint Chapel is its gem. It currently houses exposition halls, and the courtyard is full of life, especially at the weekends, when there are lots of cultural events and entertainment. For beer lovers, a visit to the adjacent brewery, the oldest castle brewery in Upper Silesia, is a must. Beer is brewed here in open vats according to traditional recipes. While visiting the brewery, you can also taste and buy local products. The enthusiast of romantic poetry must absolutely visit Łubowice, the birthplace of Silesian German poet Joseph von Eichendorff. The ruins of the castle in which Eichendorff was born and also the adjacent park immortalized in his poems are open to visitors. Not far from there, in the Upper Silesia Culture and Meeting Center, bearing the name of this poet, there is also an exhibition chamber in which you can find, among other things, the original editions and translations of his poetry. Only 2 kilometers farther, in Brzeźnica, there is an antique watermill with which a story of Eichendorff's unhappy love to the miller's daughter is connected. In the nearby Sławików, there are ruins of the palace, associated with the poet through the gloomy legend of a grey lady. It is the first in Poland Marian sanctuary devoted to Our Lady of Fatima. Silesian Fatima, it is what people call the sanctuary in Tuzla, is a place of special clemency. Crowds of the faithful come here to services, the night of penance and redress, indulgence and the days of the ill. Redoutowy Rafa is a real paradise for children. Playgrounds, excavations of dinosaurs' bones, and for the older ones, the rock climbing wall, multifunction rollerblade track, the BMX obstacle course, the mini golf course, the rope park, and a quite extreme slide. And additionally, the place to play chess and have a rest, and the food court. This place is full of life, not only on holidays. It is a real attraction for all ages. The Wodzisław Drift is a true imitation of the mining drift. With 500 meters in length, it is the biggest object of a kind in Poland. This drift was equipped with working devices to bore into and exploit coal. The object is open for visitors all year round. It is taken care of by the District Center of Continuing Education in Wodzisław Śląski. Anyone with poor nerves should not visit this museum. Blood on walls, the Dracula's chamber and old cemetery, a nightmarish bathroom and the hall of guillotine, all these made a ghastly impression. There is also a mad doctor's chamber, which refers back to the history of the Wojnowice Palace. The palace, whose history dates back to the first half of the 19th century, also offers the visitors a museum tour of the old village. A walk through an ancient park, a visit to a zoo garden and a great cuisine in a local restaurant. The history of this forge dates back to the beginning of the 18th century, and according to a legend, it would not have existed there if not for the march of King John III Sobieski's army towards Vienna. The tradition of forging has been kept here for 10 generations by the Socha family. What is special about this workshop is the fact that it is the oldest active forge in Poland and the manual technique of forging by the fireside that is still in use here. Near the forge, its owners established a museum of forging with lots of exhibits. 49-hectare park in Rudy Wielkie is the largest landscape park in Poland. The diversity of fauna and flora and natural monuments are a splendid proposal for those admiring the natural beauty and seeking contact with nature. The park offers both the nature preserve called Łęczok and an English-style palatial park situated at the monastic palatial complex in Rudy. What you can visit or see here is a dozen or so interesting ancient monuments, such as the Cistercians Abbey and the Sanctuary of Our Humble Lady. Situated in the very center of the market square, the Głubczyce town hall delights with its beauty. What especially attracts attention is its Renaissance attic and the restored elevations and interiors. Though history of the town hall dates back to the 14th century, it was almost totally destroyed during World War II and rebuilt only a few years ago. Today, the building houses a library, a gallery and a district museum. After seeing its exhibits, it is worth putting some effort in order to climb a 30-meter tower and admire the panorama of Głubczyce. The Magic of Rock Festival in Lyski has attracted rock fans craving for great party and music for 11 years now. The festival presents both Polish and foreign stars and also rising musical talents. It is the proposal for both fans of softer music and sharp death metal sounds. As for the accommodation, the participants of the festival can sleep at the camping site, of course, as long as they care to sleep on this magical night. The Magic of Rock Festival, always in August. On the Czech side of Euroregion Silesia, there is the oldest museum in the Czech Republic, the Silesian Lands Museum in Opava, established in 1814. It was found even earlier than the National Museum in Prague. Visitors are welcome to 6 modern spacious buildings and exhibition facilities, and the main antique building houses a permanent exhibition devoted to Silesian history and nature. The castle in Hradec, upon the Moravici River, gained the title of the most fairy tale-like castle in the Czech Republic, and there is no exaggeration about it. The White Palace, the classicistic residence housing the museum, is the heart of this complex. Although what attracts tourist attention is the copy of a German medieval castle called the Red Castle, added in the 19th century. A beautiful natural landscape park adds charms to this place. Hradec used to entertain famous musicians Beethoven, Liszt and Paganini. Every year, the Beethoven Festival takes place here in order to commemorate these visits. The Land Archive in Opava is the third Czech National Archive as far as the size is concerned, and also the third as for the date it was established. It operates as the state regional archive on the area of Moravian, Silesian and Olomouc counties. It is also the historic lands archive for the ancient Silesian Duchy. The Nowy Icin Urban Monument Reservation area belongs to the most beautiful in the Czech Republic. Its heart is the market square surrounded by unique ancient monuments such as the town hall, the building of an old post office or the Beskid Theatre. This place is full of picturesque spots in charming streets. What delights here? Old apartment houses, cafes, and also, as the part of the historic center, the palace of the Žeratin family housing the unique in Czech Museum of Hats. The smaller, Cathedral of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Opava is a real jewel of Gothic architecture, built by members of the German Knights Order. The first mention of this church comes from 1216. The present parish church was found in the 14th century. With its enormous sloping roof, southern tower, which is early Gothic in the lower part and topped with a Baroque lantern, with its unfinished northern tower, the cathedral is considered the architectural landmark of the town, visible from a long distance. A huge concrete Second World War memorial in the village of Hrabenie belongs to the biggest buildings of this kind in the Czech Republic. The exposition, called The Epoch of the Extinction and Hope, commemorates not only World War II events which took place on the area of old Czechoslovakia, but also warfare of Czechoslovak soldiers in the Middle East and in Africa, or pilots in England. It also presents the civilians' life on the occupied area. You can feel as if you were on the real battlefront while visiting the museum. It is impressive. On the area of an old Anzelm mine, which is one of the first established in the later part of the 18th century in Ostrava, an interesting museum of mining was founded at the beginning of the 1990s. It is the biggest in the Czech Republic. Tourists can visit classically supported and secured with wood underground corridors with header machines and belt conveyors, and also a display showing a development of mining and rescue techniques. While visiting a museum, you will find out much about the miner's life and hard work. "80 clubs, pubs and discos situated at one inconspicuous street in Ostrava. It is Stodolni, the street that never sleeps. A promise of a great time, the place where many people celebrate their stag and hen parties, and also the place for Saturday night life madness till the break of day. Enveloped with legends and stories, this place became an inspiration to a musical titled simply Stodolni. Here you can dance through the night." Built in the mid-20th century, the barrage reservoir on the Moravice River has the area of almost 300 hectares and is 31 meters deep. Its purpose is to supply water and energy. Its closing dam is considered an architectural attraction. It is 280 meters long and 33 meters high. In the first part of the water reservoir, on its both banks, there are ruins of the small castles, Medlice and Sternek. The largest university campus in Czech belongs to the higher mining school, the Technical University in Ostrava. About 20,000 students learn on 7 faculties at this university. It is the only university in the Czech Republic which has its own astronomical observatory and planetarium. A modern auditorium building is impressive, with seats for 500 people and with special galleries with boxes for journalists and translators and the control room. These presented attractions are only a small sample of the rich tourist offer of Euroregion Silesia, and those who love history and culture will certainly be delighted with its ancient monuments of architecture, sacred monuments, palace and court complexes, or museums.
Around. There is no one else around.
Those who love to spend their free time actively will also be satisfied. industrial tourism in Euroregion Silesia is another proposal. Euroregion Silesia is a great destination for those who love to be in contact with nature.
It's just the same, but I guess I've seen enough. I play the game, suddenly I've got to change. It's just the same, but the world keeps growing up. I know the game, but it's time for me to change.
An absolute tourist attraction of Silesia is a broad scope of regular events, from cultural through sport to economic ones.
Now change, go change, let's change, bring it up. Now change, go change, let's change, bring it up. Now change, go change, let's change, bring it up. Work it out, don't worry, you'll be fine.
Regardless of how much spare time you have, what kind of attraction you look for, in good and bad weather, here is a place for you. Come and see for yourself that Euroregion Silesia is a proper destination.